Hey y'all, what's good, what's poppin'? I'm so excited to get into today's video for y'all. Today I'm going to be doing a review, demo, and wear test on the new Milani Cream to Powder foundation. I went ahead and picked up two shades here, and I'm going to be go ahead and demonstrating this product for y'all today. So this is a new release from Milani, and as soon as I saw that they dropped this product, I was really interested to pick it up. I know recently MAC released a cream to powder foundation and I was kind of interested to try that out, but I was like, I don't know if I want to shell out MAC money for that. I don't even like MAC that much. But then when I went ahead and saw that Milani dropped this product, something that seemed pretty similar at a drugstore price, I was like, okay, gotta go ahead and try this out. That's what we're doing today. I'm gonna go ahead and be doing a full review, demo, and wear test on this product, and I'm really excited to get into it for y'all. So if you're interested to see that, to see a full breakdown of this product and see my thoughts and opinions on it, be sure to go ahead and stick around till the end of the video. But before we get into it, I do just want to say thank you to all my new and returning subscribers out there. Thank y'all so much for sticking around, supporting my content, and helping me to grow my channel. If you are new here and you haven't already, please be sure to go ahead and just click that subscribe button and the bell button as well so that you get a notification every time I upload a new video. And with that being said, let's get into it. So like I said, this is a new release from Milani. I was really excited to see that they dropped this product, and I was really excited to go ahead and try it out. And I'm really excited to get into this review for y'all. But before I go ahead and get into the demo, I do just want to do a quick rundown on the product information so that y'all have an idea of what this is and whether or not this might be a product that you're interested in. So just reading straight from the product website, it says blend in, stand out, Milani Conceal plus Perfect Smooth Finish Cream to Powder Foundation is back and better than ever. This must-have complexion perfector glides on as a cream and magically morphs into a buildable, full coverage, light diffusing powder foundation with a soft matte, camera ready finish, made with lily and bamboo extracts to control oil and shine for up to 16 hours. The long wear formula is sweat proof and waterproof to keep skin on point wherever the day takes you. Antioxidant rich vitamins A and E and green tea help to protect skin, and it's available in an expanded range of 22 skin perfecting shades. Right off the bat, I'm immediately intrigued by some of these claims that they're making. I'm really loving the long wear claim. I love that it claims to control oil and shine for up to 16 hours. I don't plan to wear it that long, but I'm really interested to see that claim and see how it looks after I've worn it for a couple hours for my wear test. A lot of foundations do tend to get oily on me pretty quick, even ones that claim to control shine and oil, so we'll see how that performs. I'm really interested to see what this looks like after a couple hours. I'm loving this light diffusing claim. Generally what that means is it's going to go ahead and blur out the appearance of pores and texture. I'm all for a foundation that's going to blur me out. It claims to be buildable to full coverage, claims to be sweat proof, waterproof. I also love that they've included some antioxidant ingredients and green tea extract to help protect the skin. I love that it comes in 22 shades. Looking here on the shade ranges, it does look like it is still heavily favoring light to medium skin tones. They could improve a little bit in that respect, especially considering that it is supposed to be a full coverage foundation. So I do think that they can improve a little bit, but I don't think it's a terrible shade range. Milani products are cruelty free, vegan, made in the USA. Looking at the ingredients list here, it also looks like this product is fragrance free, which is really nice. It does contain a lot of silicone. The first ingredient in here is dimethicone, which I'm assuming is what gives it that pore blurring effect. Personally, I don't mind silicones in my skincare and cosmetic products, but I know some people are concerned that it can be a comedogenic ingredient and that it can clog your pores and prevent your skin from properly breathing. So I just wanted to go ahead and point that out because I know some people are adverse to using products that contain silicone. Each compact retails for $11, and for that you get 0.28 ounces of product. So looking at the product here, you can see the foundation and the foundation shade underneath. When you lift up the lid of the compact, of course right here you have the foundation, and then you can lift up the foundation itself and that reveals another compartment which contains a sponge to apply the foundation, and it also contains a mirror as well so that you can see where you're actually applying the foundation. And then there's not much else really here for the product information. They do give instructions for how to apply it, and it says that you can either use the included sponge applicator, you could use a beauty blender, or you could use a foundation brush to apply. I'll get a little bit more into it in the demo obviously, but in my personal experience it applies fine either way if you use a foundation brush or a sponge, but I prefer to just use a sponge because I find that that's a much quicker method of applying it. But I found that with a foundation brush it just took way longer to blend it out into the skin and to get that full even coverage. At the end of the day, it wasn't giving me brush strokes or anything like that, so it wasn't the finish of it that was the issue. It just took a lot longer using a brush to give me that coverage and that finish that I was looking for, so I just went ahead and used a sponge for the application. If you are someone that prefers to use a brush to apply your foundation, perfectly fine for this product. It's gonna work. Like I said, it will just take a little bit longer than using a sponge. I almost forgot to mention I did do some swatches. I picked up two shades here here. Truth be told, I was trying to find my shade match in store, but they just didn't have the product in store, so I wasn't able to get a shade match in person. So I was kind of doing my best with what I could find online, and I ended up going back and forth between the shades Warm Beige and Sand Beige. So I went ahead and picked up both, and I swatched them on my arm here so you can see. I'll just go ahead and insert it real quick. Here on the swatches, on the left side we have Warm Beige, and then on the right side we have Sand Beige. In the demo, I'm gonna go ahead and use Sand Beige just because I feel like that was more in line with my skin tone. Neither one of them was really a perfect match for me, but I feel like Warm Beige, even though they called it Warm Beige, was just a little bit on the pink side. But I want to just go ahead and throw that in here real quick and show y'all the swatches of the product on my arm, just so that y'all have an idea of what it looks like on my skin tone, because I know that some people do like to use my videos as a shade reference. And with that being said, that's really all the product information here. There's not really too much to say about this product. It doesn't make any claims specifically as far as what skin types it's good for, but based on the claims as far as controlling shine and oil, being long wearing, sweat and water resistant, I'm assuming this is going to be more geared towards normal to oily skin types, which happens to be my skin type. I'm more of like a combo to oily skin type. So hopefully this foundation will work well for me, but we'll see. I'm going to go ahead and do a full demo and wear test and get into it. All right, y'all. So I'm beyond excited to get into this demo and application for y'all. But before I do that, I do just want to go ahead and go over my off-camera skincare routine real quick, just so that if it applies funny, we can make a judgment about whether or not it is the foundation itself that's acting up, or whether it just wasn't playing well with the products I have going on underneath. So of course I went ahead, hopped in the shower real quick and washed my face, and then straight out the shower I went ahead and toned my face. I just went ahead and used this Surmedic Azulene Soothing Mousse Toner. So this has Azulene and Centella Asiatica extract in here to help calm and soothe the skin, and then it's also got tea tree extract, which has antimicrobial properties and helps to keep acne bacteria in check. It also has skin soothing properties, so this is really good for sensitive, acne prone skin types. After I went ahead and applied the toner, I went in with a serum. I've been using this Clean Beauty Vitamin C and Papaya Glow Serum. This was recommended to me by a subscriber, and I've really been loving this. I like using vitamin C serums during the day because they infuse the skin with antioxidants, which help to provide a second line of defense against environmental stressors, UV damage, pollutants, and things like that. So this contains vitamin C, which of course helps to promote an even skin tone. It helps stimulate collagen production. It provides antioxidant support. We've also got licorice root extract in here, which also helps promote a more even skin tone. And there's also ferulic acid, which is another antioxidant ingredient, which helps to stabilize vitamin C and also provides another layer of defense against free radical damage and pollutants. For my moisturizer, I just decided to go ahead with this Good Molecules BHA Clarify Gel. So this contains a very small amount of salicylic acid, or BHA. It only contains 0.4% and it's not formulated at a super low acidity. I believe the pH is only 5.2, so it's still within that range of a skin compatible pH. It helps to go into the pores and decongest those and help prevent future breakouts. But again, because it is at such a low concentration and a skin identical pH, it is very gentle on the skin. We've also got Centella Asiatica extract and green tea leaf extract in here to calm the skin and provide extra antioxidant benefits. And in addition, pomegranate and grapeseed oils also help to provide a nice lightweight hydration that won't clog the pores. So this is what I've been using recently on days that I am wearing makeup. I used up my favorite Naturium moisturizer, so I've just been using this, and this really helps to prevent those post-makeup breakouts I tend to get. It really helps to keep those in check and has really been helping to calm my complexion down. So this is what I've been loving on days when I wear makeup. And then for my sunscreen, I've been using this THANKYOU Farmer Sun Project Water Sun Cream SPF 50 PA3+. This is a hybrid sunscreen. It contains both physical and chemical UV filters. It has a nice lightweight texture. It absorbs into the skin beautifully, but doesn't leave the skin looking greasy or oily like some Western sunscreens can. And even though this does contain physical UV blockers, it doesn't leave a white cast on my skin tone, which I really appreciate. So I've been loving this because of the nice lightweight texture and the pretty decent UV protection that it offers. And that's what I've got going on underneath. So that's it for my skincare. I just wanted to go ahead and go over that real quick. So with that out the way, I'm ready to go ahead and get into the actual application of the foundation. Full disclosure here, this is not my first time testing out this product. I actually tried to film this video yesterday, but I just didn't like how the footage came out, so I'm refilming it again today. And since I did have the chance to go ahead and try this out yesterday, I did have a chance to apply it and see how I like it and what's the best method to apply it. So I am going to go ahead and just show y'all how I apply this and what I think works best. I did go ahead and apply it yesterday. I did half my face initially with a sponge and then the other half with a brush. I know normally I use a brush for my foundation applications, but recently I've been loving using a sponge. Specifically, I'm going to use this Juno & Co. microfiber sponge. This really works well for this foundation in my experience. But like I said yesterday, when I did do this review, I did do an application where I did half with a sponge and half with a brush, and I feel like the finish was exactly the same. There wasn't really a huge difference. The brush didn't leave brush strokes or anything like that. Both had a nice seamless skin-like finish. Really the main difference there was that that with the brush it just took a lot longer to apply it to the skin and blend it out. I'm just gonna go ahead and do the whole face with a sponge because like I said, at the end of the day, you are getting the same finish no matter which method you choose to apply it with. It's just that with a sponge, it blends out nice and quickly. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this Juno & Co microfiber sponge, and I just like to go ahead and dip it into the pan to go ahead and grab some product, and then I'm gonna go ahead and just start stamping it on my face. So I'm gonna go ahead and do one half of the face first just so that y'all can see the difference between bare skin and having a light layer of this on. Then I'm gonna go ahead and bounce it into the whole skin, and then I'll go ahead and do a second layer wherever I need some more coverage just so that y'all have an idea of how this builds up and what this looks like. So like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and start doing half my face just so that y'all can see the difference between the bare skin and a light layer of this foundation. So I'm gonna go ahead and start applying it to this half of my face. Alright, so I've gone ahead and applied it to half the face. So I have it applied to this half, and then this half is just the bare skin. So this is what the bare skin side looks like, and then this is what the side with the foundation looks like. Looking here in the mirror now, I don't know if the camera is really picking it up, but I do see a notable difference in the radiance between the side where I have applied the foundation and where I have not. This side, obviously, you know, I've just got my skincare going on. It's nice and radiant and dewy. This side, there is still some luminosity to it, but it is significantly more matte than this side. This does apply as a cream, but then settles down to a powder finish, and I do feel like the longer I'm letting it sit on my face, the more matte it is getting over here. I don't know, like I said, if the camera is really doing it justice and showing that difference, but this side definitely the radiance has toned down a lot. Now as you can see, there is a difference in the undertone. Obviously, like I said, it wasn't really a perfect match, but even just looking at the skin itself, this side, even with just one layer, did give me really good coverage. I don't really see too much going on. I had some redness going on here in my nose, and that's pretty much covered up. The little bit of discoloration I have in the under eye area, that's covered up pretty well as well. I have some hyperpigmentation here on my cheek, and that's almost fully covered up. I do see a tiny bit peeking through if I bring the mirror in like really close here, but when I pull the mirror out like this far away, it's really hard for me to notice that. And again, same here with the chin, I do see a little bit peeking through. This one is a little bit more prominent, but again, it's more noticeable when I pull the mirror in up close, but when I pull it far away, it is a lot harder to notice. I'm also seeing here the foundation side compared to the bare skin side. It does look like it has blurred out my pores. Now I don't know if that's the product itself filling in the pores, or if that's just because it has more of a matte finish and it's not emphasizing the pores the same way that my bare skin is, but I do just want to point that out. This side does look a lot more smoother, a little bit more blurred out. Looks like I have a little bit of a filter going on over here compared to over here on my bare skin side, and it feels really comfortable too. Even though it is drying down to a matte finish, I don't feel like I'm wearing anything on this side of my face. It doesn't feel heavy or anything. It's not feeling tight. It's settling in really nice so far. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this half of my face now just so that y'all can see what this looks like built up with one layer on the skin. Alright, so here's one layer applied to the skin and completely blended out. As you can see, my complexion looks significantly more evened out. I did have some hyperpigmentation and redness here on the cheeks, and that has been toned down significantly. My chin area here is looking pretty good. My nose, the redness around there has been toned down significantly. My forehead's looking good. The way this finishes on the skin looks really good so far. It did blur out the pores over here, and now that I've applied it to the whole face, I do have that same pore blurred look going on over here as well. It's really just helped to smooth out my complexion and make that look more even. It's really helped to smooth over the texture of my forehead and the cheeks. This side has had a second to set, so I'm gonna go ahead and just touch it. So it does feel like it has set pretty well. It doesn't feel powdery per se, but it doesn't feel like liquidy or tacky either. It just feels like nice and set and dry. I will say that I don't know if the camera's gonna pick it up, but I did get a little bit of transfer onto my finger, but I don't see any fingerprints on my face or anywhere where it seems like the foundation is lifted. So it did seem to transfer a little bit, but it doesn't look like I've removed any coverage or moved the foundation around. And like I said, the more that I just let it sit and set, it does seem to settle down a little bit more matte, but it does still have a little bit of luminosity to it. In saying that, it's not completely matte, and it's definitely not drying, tight, uncomfortable, anything like that. It is still a nice, wearable, natural matte look. So like I said, this is what one layer looks like built up on the skin and blended out. I am gonna go ahead and apply a little bit more just where I need some extra coverage. So I'm not gonna do like the whole face. I'm not gonna buff in a whole extra layer, but I will apply a little bit more to my cheeks and up here on my forehead, and maybe some in the chin as well, just to give me a little bit extra coverage and see how this builds up. Okay, so here's what we look like with 2 layers built up. So essentially what I did is I just grabbed some product on the sponge, started from the center of my face, here on the cheeks, and up here on the forehead, and then just blended it outwards. And this is what the final result looks like. I'm gonna come in a little closer so y'all can see up close what the foundation's looking like. So having applied 2 layers, definitely does give you a little bit more coverage. It is buildable in that respect. I also feel like with a second layer applied, the foundation looks even more matte than it did before. It's not 100% matte, you know, there is still a little bit of radiance, luminosity coming through, but it is significantly toned down compared to what it was even with just 1 layer applied to the face. Even though it does look a little bit more matte with a second layer applied, it also kind of amplified that pore blurring effect. My skin looks even more smoothed over and it looks even more like I have a filter going on right now. It doesn't look or feel heavy on top of the skin either. It still looks nice and skin-like. It doesn't look cakey or like makeup at all. And again, it does still feel nice and set. It doesn't feel tacky or liquidy anymore, but I am still getting a little bit of transfer. But even so, looking here on the face, again, like I said, I'm not seeing fingerprints. It doesn't look like the foundation itself lifted at all. You know, I wouldn't say it's 100% transfer resistant or transfer proof. You might want to go ahead and set it with a powder if that's a concern of yours. But all in all, so far I'm impressed with this, how this builds up with 2 layers on the skin. I'm really impressed with the coverage and the finish of this. I don't just want to see how this performs on its own as like a bare foundation. I want to go ahead and layer some product on top. So I'm just going to go ahead and do a little quick simple makeup look. I'm just going to throw on some of my Fenty Stalk'r bronzer. I'm using the shade Island Ting. I'm going to go ahead and take some on this Fenty cheek hugging bronzer brush and just kind of bronze the perimeter of my face with that. Alright y'all, so here's my little completed mini beat. I didn't really do anything too crazy. I just went ahead and bronzed up my skin with some of my Fenty Stalk'r bronzer, and then I just went ahead and set my brows with my NYX Bear With Me brow setter. And this is the final result. So looking here in the mirror, everything blended in beautifully. There's no line of demarcation or separation between where I've bronzed my skin and where I haven't. Everything looks nice and seamless. Even though I did have a tiny bit of problem with the foundation lifting when I went ahead and tapped it with my bare finger, it doesn't look like the foundation lifted at all when I applied the bronzer on top. Everything still looks nice and covered up. You know, we still got a nice full coverage going on here. Yeah, everything just blended together nice and beautifully. It looks seamless like one skin. Feels nice and comfortable. It doesn't feel tight or drying at all. So far, I'm loving how this looks and feels on the skin. This is what we're looking like. Again, I'm just gonna come in real close to give you one final up close look at the foundation. This is what we're looking like off the jump. So I'm gonna do a little bit of a wear test. I'm gonna wear this for a couple hours today to show y'all how this wears throughout the day and to see whether or not I would still recommend it after a few hours wear. So far, it's looking really good. It feels really comfortable on the skin, and I'm thinking that cream to powder finish should hopefully help this foundation to hold up well throughout the day, but we will see. So real quick, I do want to do a quick time check. It's about 12 p.m. right now. This is what we're looking like right off the bat. So I've got a pretty busy day ahead of me. I do have a few things I need to do. I've got some errands I need to run, so I'm going to go ahead and attend to that. And then when I'm done all that, I'll go ahead and come back to give my final thoughts and do a final check-in on the product and see how it looks after a couple hours of wear. So this is what we're looking like now, and I'll be back in a few hours to do a final review and wear test on the product. Alright y'all, so I'm back to do my final check-in. It's been a few hours now, and I'm ready to go ahead and give y'all my final thoughts on the foundation and whether or not I still recommend it. Before I start tearing the foundation apart, I do just want to do a quick time check. So currently it's about 7 p.m. When we did the first check-in, it was about 12 p.m. So it's been about 7 hours. So this is what we're looking like 7 hours later. I'm going to come in real close so you can get a look at the foundation up close and see what we're looking like. So looking here at the foundation in the mirror, of course, obviously the first thing that I notice is, of course, I do look a lot more oily than when I first applied it. That is to be expected. Generally, I do tend to get a little bit oily around this point in the day, and especially at this time of year, it is starting to get a little bit more hot and humid now. All in all though, even though it looks oily, it does look pretty good. It doesn't look like it's broken up at all. It's not separating anywhere. It's not breaking up here in my smile lines. It looks good here in the folds of my nose, up here in between my eyebrows, and up here on my forehead. Really the only areas that are kind of problematic, it does look like it has creased a little bit here in my under eye area, but honestly, I can just go in and tap that out with a finger and it looks good as new. So I'm not too worried about the creasing in my under eye area, and it's really minor. It's not a huge deal. I've seen complexion products where it's creased a lot worse than this. And then here on the nose, I do see 2 spots here where it has worn off a little bit. I was wearing some sunglasses outside, so I did kind of expect the foundation to wear off a little bit on those areas. I was having issues earlier with the product transferring to my finger when I was tapping it, so I'm not surprised that that, you know, something like sunglasses, something having extended contact with the foundation here on the nose, I'm not surprised that that wore it down a little bit there. But then also what's surprising to me is here on the tip of the nose, it seems like the foundation's come off a little bit too, and I don't know what's up with that. I mean, I didn't change my shirt at all. As far as I remember, I wasn't really rubbing my nose or touching my face or anything like that. So I don't know why it seems like the foundation came off here on the tip of the nose, but everywhere else, besides the areas, of course, like I said, where the sunglasses were making contact with my nose, the foundation still looks pretty good. Still got that nice full coverage. As far as the pore blurring effect, as my oils have come through a little bit, obviously the foundation has kind of not broken up, but it has settled a little bit into my pores, and it is showing the texture there. It's not looking as smoothed over and blurred out as it was when I first applied it, but it's also not looking too awfully bad. It's not emphasizing the texture or making it look worse than it naturally is. It just really looks like my natural skin and my natural texture. Nothing over the top there. Can't complain about that. So I think I'm gonna end my final check-in here. Final thoughts. It held up pretty well throughout the day. It did get a little bit oily, but it isn't as bad as I've had with some complexion products. It's still manageable, and like I said, I didn't use a setting powder or anything like that. Perhaps a setting powder would tone down the shine and, you know, make it look a little bit more matte if that is an issue, but I personally wouldn't be mad at this finish, especially 7 hours on. It's not breaking up or separating anywhere. I still have full coverage. It really seems like it hasn't rubbed off anywhere besides, like I said, on the sides of my nose here a little bit where I was wearing the sunglasses, and then for some reason here on the tip of the nose, it still feels nice and comfortable and sitting well on top of the skin. Yeah, all in all, I'm impressed with this product. Besides whatever's going on here on the nose, I think that this product performed pretty well. If you are someone that has normal to oily skin, I definitely feel like this would be a good foundation to check out. Not too sure about how this might work out for dry skin types. It might be a little bit too drying for you. So yeah, that's my final review, and that's my final check-in, final thoughts on the product. I hope y'all enjoyed this video and were able to find it helpful. If you did, please be sure to go ahead and give it a thumbs up down below. Let me know down in the comments what you liked about this video, what you disliked. Let me know down in the comments if you have any requests for any future video ideas, any reviews on a specific product, or just any video in general you want to see. Go ahead and leave those suggestions down in the comments so that I can see them and keep them in mind when I'm thinking of topics for videos to film. Like I said, if you haven't already, please be sure to just go ahead and click that subscribe button and the bell button as well so that you can get a notification every time I upload a new video. And with that being said, I should be back shortly with new content. Bye.